been so swamped with trying to get orders together and keeping everything in order with the shop because you guys have been flooding me with readings. You guys have been flooding me for all of my spell candles, my bath salts. Y'all have definitely been taking advantage of that bundle that I'm doing right now for the bath salts, the candle, and the bar of spell soap. Y'all have been loving it. And I just want to say thank you to each and every person who's made a purchase. Thank you so much because you guys help keep this channel going. Every fall, y'all like to clear me out of all of my spiritual items. So I'm trying to prepare myself early and I have been so stressed out. And I also want to make a shout out to all of the new subbies out there. A huge thank you to you guys for being here on the channel as well and enjoying the content and letting me know because I see y'all in the comments. So much love to you guys. What's good in the YouTube hood? It's your girl Luna Nova and I am back with another video for you guys today. Now I put out a couple of topics on the community page to see what you guys wanted to talk about. I hope you guys grabbed your drink, grab your snack because we are about to get into this next video. So today here on the channel we are going to talk about the well-requested video that you guys voted for on the community page, which is going to be about the Clairs. The Clairs are a set of well-known spiritual abilities, and I am here to give you all a little education on those 6. Yes, you heard me 6, because most of you know 5. 6 different Clair abilities. What are the Clairs? The Clairs are a different group of spiritual abilities that enhance your natural senses, offering various spiritual connections through guidance. Now, the first Clair ability that we are going to talk about is probably the most well-known, and that is going to be Clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. Now, when you think about clairvoyance, think about that so raven, psychic visions, seeing visions and symbols in your head, because essentially that's what it is.
No, no, and no.
That was weird. I just had a vision of my parents saying no.
And usually with this ability, you have a certain insight or vision that other people do not have. So again, this could be you seeing images in your head, certain symbols, or even getting some type of clairvoyance through dreams. So essentially your dreams being an insight to what is going to happen.
If you want to find out if you're clairvoyant or not, keep watching this video, okay? Signs that you are clairvoyant. You experience premonitions on a regular basis, okay? Number 2, when you close your eyes, you can see actual images in your mind, okay? In your mind's eye. Number 3, you don't trust anybody who won't look you in the eyes, okay? Who speak to you while looking away, you don't trust them because the eyes is the windows to the soul and it will always tell you the truth, okay? Remember that. Number 4, visualization techniques comes easy to you, okay? You can visualize anything very easily, okay? Number 5, being taught something new is better when you are being shown how to do it, okay? Being taught something new is easier when you are shown how to do it, the hands-on experience, all right? Number 6, you experience visions while you are awake and you are aware of your surroundings, okay? Number 7, you are a very visual person, okay? You describe yourself as a very visual person, okay? Number 8, you have dreams that come true on a regular, okay? Your dreams are always coming true. Number 9, you could tell the difference between a regular dream and a premonition dream, okay?
Now, the next Clair that we're going to get into today is what your girl is, and that would be Clairaudience. And this would be the ability to have clear hearing. So if you hear things that other people cannot, if you notice that you hear possibly music or a certain person's voice, or maybe even your name being called when nobody's around or nobody actually called your name, you have the gift of clairaudience. Clairaudience can happen internally or externally. Again, these could be things that you hear in your mind or things that you hear out loud that other people don't.
Do you have the psychic gift of clairaudience? There are about 4 phases to clairaudience as it develops. Let me know what phase you're on. Phase 1. This is the most common sign that most people with clairaudience have at the beginning is you'll start to hear a buzzing in your ears. It'll be at different volumes, but it basically sounds like a static or a humming in your ears. Phase 2, that buzzing will start to convert into distant chatter. So it feels like you're in a room full of people and they're talking to each other but not to you. Almost like you're overhearing a conversation. This happens a lot right before you fall asleep because your mind is the quietest then. Phase 3, over time that will evolve into a direct voice talking to you. Because it's not you, the accent might sound different, the tone of voice or word choice might even be different. So I had a guide use the term pussyfooting, which is a term I've never used, and when I said it out loud I was like, all right, stage 4. In the 4th stage, you'll really be able to start distinguishing the voices, and you'll be able to tell who's a spirit guide, who's your higher self. Experience won't be so confusing, it won't be so novel to you, you'll be used to it, and you'll be able to distinguish between the voices. Is this you?
Now, the next clair ability that we are going to talk about is the all-knowing, which is claircognizance. This is when you are just dealing with a very spiritually gifted individual who just knows things. I mean, these people, they're almost like a walking lie detector. They know exactly what the hell is going on physically and spiritually without even having to say anything to you, without even having to get a feel for your physical energy. These are people who just know what they are doing. They know exactly what is going on without you having to tell them any type of details. It's usually suddenly some type of energetic shift happens and boom, the information is just almost downloaded into that person's mind where they know details, thoughts, feelings, ideas, maybe even plans that you have without having to discuss anything.
Hold it, spiritual friend. Don't keep scrolling. Listen to this. Hold up. How many of you experience that phenomenon where you just know something and you don't know how you know it? That, my friend, is called claircognizance. Now, what is that? It's called inner knowing. And basically what it is, it's when your soul and your body fully grasp a concept and you have a clear knowing and understanding of it. Ooh, Lord is with me. I can feel my heart like racing right now as I'm talking about this. Anywho, okay, so many times when people experience this phenomenon, they tend to want to seek external validation for their inner knowing. So what do? We go to Google, we talk to other people, we do everything in our power to raise doubt within ourselves about something that we already know, which is exactly how society is able to control you.
Now let's talk about clairaudience. Clairaudience is the ability to hear beyond this physical realm. Now again, this ability can show up in a few different ways, and again, that can be through words, music, certain voices, or sounds.
What does it mean when this happens to you? Although many doctors will tell you that this is a disorder called tinnitus, that's actually not very common, and it could be something completely different. The non-physical meaning of ringing in the ears is actually a sign of higher awareness and clairaudience, which means that you have the ability to hear things beyond ordinary perception. This means you're energetically sensitive and more aware of energetic shifts happening around you and within you. So what can you do with these abilities? Well, for one, you can tell when the vibe within yourself and the vibe in the room is changing. And you can even channel messages from your higher self or from angels or any other spiritual being. Ringing your left ear means your internal energies are shifting, while ringing your right ear means a spiritual being is trying to communicate with you. Use these two charts for your abilities.
Now, one of the most feared clairs is going to be clairsentience, and that is going to be clair feeling. So you may feel actual touches. You may actually feel physical pain that other people may have endured, or past spirits. Now, again, this is one of the most feared clairs because a lot of people say they do not want to feel any type of experience that a past person may have had, especially if it was a negative one. Now, clairsentience is something that I do also have as well. So sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming for me personally because I tend to take on people's emotions being an empath. So that's the reason why I make sure to space out my readings. And if you are ever looking for a reading from me, make sure that you book with me on the Mystic Muse LLC on Etsy. Dealing with a lot of energies and a lot of people, a lot of different places, energetically, physically, emotionally, it can be a lot. It can be extremely draining, but I digress. I make sure that I leave a lot of time in between to make sure that I cleanse, that I properly get my rest, I eat, make sure to take care of me and my vessel and me and my emotions before I can help anybody unpack their own. Knock anybody who has to take that time out because it is necessary, not only for your personal growth, but for your spiritual growth as well.
This is what an empath is, and tips if you are one. You may have heard about this before, but in simple terms, it's somebody who's sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies around them. When you're around people, you can feel their emotions, what they're struggling with in their life, what they're thinking about in the moment. Scientifically, this is something that we all have, but empaths are people that are just naturally very sensitive to energy. The problem is you could get drained really quickly because you're around so much energy and absorbing everybody's energy. And after a long day of being outside, you could be so tired, agitated, and feeling random emotions for no damn reason. Here's some tips that I have as an empath, and know that I'm not a master, even I'm still trying to perfect this ability. Number one is use showers, bro. You could use a shower as a decontamination for energy, and envisioning the energy from other people as dirt and the water as light. And I promise you, after the shower, you're gonna feel so damn refreshed. Number two is use crystals. These will be a big help because remember, they're basically spiritual or conscious computers. You can program them to be sources of energy for you, to shield certain frequencies away from you, or to provide you with a certain frequency to fight off certain energies. Anything is possible with crystals. Number three, this is the hardest one. Know what is your energy and what is not. Notice how you feel before socializing, during, and after. And around certain people, you're gonna notice you feel a certain type of way. That is because you're feeling their emotions, their thoughts, their intentions, everything. So you basically know who they are before they even talk. Knowing what's yours and what's not will help you a lot. You may notice that you don't understand certain frequencies on people at first, but really you're gaining a data bank of information of what frequencies mean. So over time, you will start to understand what certain energies mean, and then you're gonna be a master at it. Number four, cut off people who energetically aren't good to be around. Remember, what they feel, you feel. So if they aren't energetically good to be around, you can hang out with them and they feel amazing after hanging out with you, but you feel horrible because they drain that energy from you. Interactions are an energetic exchange. So whoever you're interacting with and friends with, you are agreeing to exchange energy with them. So be picky with who you hang around.
Now the next clairs that we are going to go over are two that took me some time to get some education on personally, because I honestly didn't think that they were abilities. I just thought that was just something that kind of happened, but it makes sense if you think about what the clairs are. If you think about it, the clairs are nothing but a spiritual enhancement of your senses. So of course, if you have 6 senses, you're going to have 6 possible psychic abilities. Clairgustance is clear taste. So you have the ability to be able to taste certain things. Now this could come in many different forms. This could be you tasting the dish of something that a past ancestor used to make very distinctly. And that could be your sign that that person is near you, that you're tapped into their energy. Now, of course, this is a spiritual ability because you won't actually have the physical thing that you are tasting near your mouth, or maybe even something that you haven't eaten in a long time. So for instance, if you know that a past loved one used to love Jolly Ranchers and out of nowhere you start to taste the sour green apple Jolly Ranchers in your mouth, that could be your sign that that person is with you or you're tapped into their energy.
Okay, class is back. Break is over. All right, I was just reading the Encyclopedia of Spirits, the ultimate guide to magic of fairies, genies, demons, ghosts, gods, and goddesses. All right, welcome to part 4, y'all, where we're going to talk about Clairgustance. All right, give me a second. All right, so Clairgustance is to taste without having indulged when connecting to other energies. 3 signs of Clairgustance is when you're doing ancestor work, spirit work, okay? Taste food or etc. before having, okay? And number 3, having a bad taste after dealing with someone, all right? All right, so for those who do ancestor work or spirit work, you'll already know about this one. So say you're working with your spirits or ancestors, you ask them what they want, or you deal with them regularly. And the way that they'll let you know that they want something, they'll like give you a taste. Say you smoke with your ancestors, okay? You have ancestors who are Native Americans and like to smoke tobacco. You got ancestors who like to smoke weed, whatever, okay? You will experience that taste because that is what they're wanting, okay? Or a food that they would like to have. You can taste food or things, something before you actually have it, all right? And then a bad taste when you deal with someone. You already know what I mean, sour mouth, all right?
Last but not least, we are going to talk about clairaudience.
The ability of clear smelling. Just like all of the other clairs, this one is linked to your heightened sense of spiritual smell. So again, you may be able to smell certain perfumes, foods, or different objects or substances that help you in your spiritual practice. Now, this is also another ability that I do possess myself, because I know for a fact whenever my father or my brother is around me, because I can clearly smell them. That seems to be a common theme with my past male ancestors on my father's side of the family. I can clearly smell when they are around because they wore very distinct colognes that you cannot mistake. The first time I knew I had this ability was when my father had passed from COVID, and I could smell my grandfather, my father's father, his cologne very distinctly in the room with me. And my grandfather had passed the year before, so he was no longer around. I shouldn't have been able to smell that so distinctly, but it was something that I could not mistake. And even my cousin who had shown up to the hospital with me said she could smell the same exact thing in the room, which was my abuelo. So I have only knowingly had this ability for about 5 years now, and it definitely was an interesting experience when I was conscious of it. But nonetheless, as I grow and learn my spiritual abilities and gifts and how to harness them as well as how to turn them off, because sometimes you want to, it has been an extremely rewarding experience nonetheless. I absolutely am loving the growth in my craft and my abilities and in my own spiritual journey. It has truly been a blessing.
Some signs of clairaudience. Clairaudience translates as clear smelling. You basically have the ability to clearly smell a whiff of spirit energy, basically. So what's a big sign that you are clairaudient? Number one, have you ever been, let's say, like cooking randomly one night and all of a sudden you smell cigarette smoke and no one in your house smokes, but you know that your dad, who passed away 5 years ago, smoked? That could be dad peeking in to say hi. Or let's say that it's Christmas morning and you're getting ready for Christmas. You're putting all your presents out for your kids and you start thinking about your mom in your head, and you know that mom passed away years ago. And all of a sudden you get this whiff, all of a sudden out of the blue, of mom's perfume. And nobody that you know wears mom's perfume. That could be mom trying to say Merry Christmas. This happens to me every once in a while. I have it happen more so in client sessions. But for an example, like years ago, right after we moved into this house, we were still unpacking. I was standing in our kitchen and I was having like this conversation in my head with my grandmother who passed away years ago. I was telling her, like, Memo, you would love this house. You would have been over here all the time. You would have absolutely just been so proud of us and loved it. And all of a sudden I got this whiff of my Memo's house, and her house smelled very distinctly. Almost smelled like cedar almost. But I just got this whiff of it and I instantly knew. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm standing in her house. And I knew immediately that she was standing there with me. Let me know in the comments if you've ever experienced this before, but I hope this helps. Love you.
There is an amazing gift in each and every one of these abilities. And with great abilities, say it with me now, comes great responsibility. Make sure that we are using these gifts as what they are, a gift. Let's be respectful. Let's be thankful. Let's be grateful that these abilities are something that we do possess. And from clairvoyance to clairsentience, all of these abilities are something that are an amazing gift from the Most High and that should not be taken for granted. So be careful how you use these abilities. What can be given can be taken away. Now be sure that you stay tuned to the channel because I will be dropping a new video early next week that will piggyback right off of this video to let you know how you can tap more into these abilities with certain spiritual tools. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video short because your girl's DoorDash order just got here and I'm about to enjoy some Johnny's New York style pizza. So as always, make sure you drink your water, mind your business, and stay prayed up and protected out here. And as always, Luna loves you.